So the big thing that obviously we missed was All In. And before I start on All In, I just want to bring up the fact that the biggest complaint with it is that there was no storyline. This was a show put together by Cody, the Young Bucks, Marty, and Kenny Omega. So it was a Bullet Club production. I mean, Stephen Amell helped, Ring of Honor guys helped, but it was Bullet Club. So it had no real affiliation. It wasn't Ring of Honor. It wasn't Impact. It wasn't NWA. It wasn't Lucha Underground. It wasn't New Japan. So you can't take storylines directly from that because then you're taking away money from the promotions. People compare this to Starcade, but I compare it to when the AWA would put on Super Clash, and it was all the promotions getting their top stars together and putting on one big pay-per-view against Vince McMahon. So that is, you have some storyline, but it's ones that the Bullet Club themselves did on their Being the Elite web series. Will Flip Gordon be at the show? How is Cody going to do against Nick? Kenny Omega calling out Pentagon as his opponent. The Golden Elite being together, that wouldn't have happened without Being the Elite. There's just so much that went into it. The first match there was on the 0 Hour, which opened with the Young Bucks coming out with Road Warrior Animal, doing the introduction, thanking people for being there. Cody thanked them. This was after a weekend of StarCast. And honestly, the joke was if you weren't signed to WWE, but you wrestled in the 90s, you were there. And I mean, Road Warrior Animal, the Four Horsemen that weren't Ric Flair. Oh man, even David Arquette. David Arquette was there. Not really sure why. I mean, he's being bigger on the indie scene, but I mean, they brought in everyone. It was the biggest wrestling promotion / convention that I think I've ever seen. And big ups is given to Conrad Thompson, the voice behind, I think, 4 podcasts now. He put this on, the mortgage guy. That's real good. The show, though, opened with the Briscoes, who are the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, facing SCU, which was Kaz and then Scorpio Sky. And they came out wearing Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed gear, which nice little touch to show, since obviously Rocky had to work his way up, and so did this show. SCU got the win after a great reversal to the Doomsday Device that the Briscoes attempted to do. The second match was the over-budget Battle Royal, where the winner would face Ring of Honor World Champion Jay Lethal. In this match was Jordan Grace, Colt Cabana, Ethan Page, Rocky Romero, Billy Gunn, his son Austin Gunn, Moose, Tommy Dreamer, Bully Ray, Brandon Cutler, Chucky T and Trent Beretta, the best friends, Jimmy Jacobs, Punishment Martinez, Brian Cage, Marco, Cheeseburger, the Hurricane, and Chico El Luchador. The match started out as hectic. Bully Ray powerbombed Chico through a table, and everyone, weapons got involved. Billy Gunn looked really good. His son, spot on, looked like his father. He did the moves, he did the taunts, he did everything. I won't be surprised to see Austin Gunn get signed to a WWE contract in the future. What was surprising was Moose was the first man eliminated. I thought Moose would for sure be the one to win it, since it was Moose Jay Lethal. That was a thing in Ring of Honor. But it looked as if Bully Ray was going to win. Bully Ray was the last man in the ring. But then Chico El Luchador came in and eliminated Bully. Lo and behold, he pulled his mask off, and it was Flip Gordon. So Flip got booked on All In, and he is now in the Ring of Honor World Championship match. Then the opening match for All In was Matt Cross, who's a indie legend at this point. I compare him to Jerry Lynn. He can pretty much do it all no matter his size. He defeated MJF in a good opening contest, reminiscent of one that Rob Van Dam or Lance Storm would have done in the original ECW. We move on now to Christopher Daniels fighting Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell did well. I mean, he hasn't really done anything outside of tag team matches. But he lost to Christopher Daniels in a hard-fought match. He admits afterwards how blown up he was. And it sounds like maybe this is going to be the last in-ring encounter for Stephen Amell. Time will only tell. I mean, maybe if the Arrow show gets canceled, he has to make another appearance. Then we got the women's match, which Madison Rayne, who I mentioned earlier, has appeared everywhere. WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, all within this summer. All fighting for gold and accolade. Facing Chelsea Green, who came out in her crazy bride gimmick. She, of course, the girlfriend of Zack Ryder. And also facing Britt Baker, who's the girlfriend of Adam Cole, who came out to his old theme. That was a nice little touch because Adam Cole, of course, was very big in helping the indie scene blow up in the late 2000s. And then they faced Tessa Blanchard, who, the Impact Women's Champion. After a hard-fought four-way match, Tessa Blanchard came out on top. And then afterward, they hugged, they shared emotion. It was a great match for the top women to watch out for. I think at one point they're all going to be signed to WWE. It's only a matter of time before Tessa goes, and then we have the true four horsewomen with a Flair and a Blanchard. After this match, we move on to the NWA Heavyweight Championship, a title which about a year and a half ago everyone thought to be dead, representing a promotion that people have not thought to be relevant since TNA stopped partnering with them in the 2000s. It was Nick Aldis, the champion, who came out to the ring being managed by Tim Storm, former NWA champion. Daivari, Sam Shaw, who were friends of his from TNA, and then surprisingly, Jeff Jarrett, who many thought who Aldis had a falling out with because of Global Force and because of TNA, but Nick said that Jeff did so much for him that he knew he needed him to accompany him to the ring. Cody then came out. Of course, he was flanked by Pharaoh and Brandy, his dog and his wife, respectively. But then he had Tommy Dreamer, who, of course, a large friend of sadly passed Dusty Rhodes, as well as someone who was trained by him, DDP, and Glacier, who both, of course, had relationships with Cody and Dusty. The match, early on, Cody took an injury. The ref threw the X up. Everyone thought that it was going to end like that. And then Daivari came out and told the ref to end the match. That's when DDP came out and hit a diamond cutter. Something you wouldn't expect to see it all in. The match continued. I thought it was a great match, one of the better Cody matches I've seen. The ending was a little, it seemed a little rushed, like they just jumped into it. But I don't know if it was intentional, but it was kind of a tribute to his father, Dusty's booking style. Cody is now the NWA Heavyweight Champion, and going forward, his first defense will be against a Lucha Underground star at a Ring of Honor show. It'll be Cody defending against Willie Mack. After this great NWA Championship match, we move into another match that has a little bit of story. If you watch BTE, you know that Adam Page killed Joey Ryan. And after that, he tried killing everyone with Joey in their name. So that's why he was facing Joey Janela, another up-and-coming indie star. Can't wait to see him break into the big time. This match was good, full of spots, full of hardcore. Hangman gets the win, but the big moment of the match wasn't even in the match. It was when Joey Ryan came back from the dead. He had his fluids, which was a group of penises, walk him down to the ring, and it was something to behold.
Penises.
Penises, yes. It was a group of, I mean, not to break kayfabe.
I was going to keep myself muted through this. Because, I don't know much about independent stuff. But he had a group of penises.
Yes, 6 to 8 men. I don't remember exactly. But you know how The Undertaker has druids?
Yes.
They were his fluids. Yeah, and they lined it up, and then he came out, and he got what revenge he needed on Adam Page. Joey Ryan's not dead, even though Adam Cole is dead. The Young Bucks killed him. The Adam Cole you see on NXT is a ghost. Joey Ryan's alive and well. Joey Ryan is alive and well, thankfully. But yeah, that was a moment. I don't. Jim Cornette wasn't happy. I mean, obviously, it made a joke of the sport. I don't want to say it completely ruined it, but having this show that had all this good wrestling, this emotion, these guys, they did it, and then you have penises come out. I don't know. I don't. I don't. It's not bad, but at the same time, I don't know if I would have done it here. But they got to run the show. Good on them, and it was a great way to have closure to that program. Then we go into the Ring of Honor Championship match. Flip Gordon came out, managed by Brandy Rhodes, his best friend. I'm sure Cody can't be too happy. But then, as Jay Lethal's walking to the ring, an arm reaches out, slaps his shoulder, and hands him Macho Man glasses. So we're thinking, okay, nice little tribute. He comes out in gear that Randy Savage wore in WCW, flanked by none other than Lanny Poffo. This is good. They make mention of the slaps. He got slapped once by Brandy. It turned him back, but then Lanny got him again. He kept thinking Brandy was Liz. He even picked her up, did the legendary spot of Liz on the shoulder. I thought that was a nice touch. They kind of copied the Warrior Macho Man match, where Macho Man hit him with, I want to say, 4 or 5 elbows, and then Flip started getting up like a warrior. And it was something to behold. Jay Lethal got the win, and it was a great tribute seeing him out there as Randy with Lanny. You can tell Lanny still loves the business. I thought maybe he'd be disgruntled because people argue that it's what killed his brother, but he is still a part of it. And with Jay representing his brother so well, why wouldn't he be? Then we move on to the Okada Scroll match. The big thing with this is everyone's saying Marty Scurll belongs on 205 Live. You know, he's a tiny man. He doesn't need to be on Real Wrestling, and Okada just keeps making fun of him for it. And here we have Scurll proving that he can do it on his own as a superstar, a heavyweight superstar, if you will. There's a lot of talk that maybe they had a little too much time in the ring. Scurll says that they didn't, and other people came to say, no, they didn't go over on time. The show just went over on time. But, I mean, it's to be said, it was a long match, but it was a good match. These two are both, I don't think you'll ever see Okada in a WWE ring, which is sad. I think you might see Marty Scurll once the Bullet Club is done, but the Bullet Club have agreed that they are going to stick together no matter where they go. And he is a big member of the Bullet Club. He is both Cody and Kenny's right-hand man. So, but it was a good match. Okada picking up the W. But still, it was definitely career defining for Scurll. Then we move into Kenny Omega, the heavyweight champion of IWGP, facing Pentagon Jr., who was the Impact champion, and he's also been Lucha Underground champion. Pentagon is just, these two, I never thought these two would ever fight, because I never saw Pentagon going to Japan. He's way too popular here in North America. And I never saw Kenny going to Lucha Underground or Impact. That could change, though, with the working relations, but still. Great match. This is the one I recommend you go watch. Everyone hits their spots. Pentagon tells Kenny Zero Miedo many times, which of course means no fear. And telling that to Kenny Omega, who many can argue is the top professional wrestler in the world right now, that shows that he definitely has some balls or some cojones. Finally, the main event got cut a little short because of how time went over, but still, the Golden Elite, the Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi, facing Rey Mysterio, Bandito, and Phoenix. Rey Mysterio came out wearing a Wolverine gear, a nice little throwback, I think, to how at every WrestleMania he'd come as a superhero. Phoenix, of course, the brother of Pentagon Jr. He had just won the championship at AAA Triple Mania, but this was a good match. Although rushed, you can see everyone still got everything. The 619 happened. Of course, the Golden Elite comes out on top. It's their show. Why wouldn't the Young Bucks go out with a win? So Marty Scurll, the only Bullet Club member not to win on the night. Kind of sad, but All In was definitely a good show. Normally, I'll admit, if it's a TNA or a Ring of Honor, I'll stream it. maybe without paying for it. But I made sure to pay for All In because I did not want to miss a moment of it. If there is an All In 2, I will definitely try and get tickets much more than I did last time. I thought maybe, I remember last time I went out to Mo, and I'm like, by the time I finish, the tickets will be on sale for about 30, 40 minutes. I'll be fine. People were already selling them for 200 a pop. And I'm like, well, it's always next year. And if there is a next year, you can count on me being all in. But besides All In, there was some independent news. As I said, Impact has started having great working relations with Lucha Underground, with New Japan, and it's because of Don Callis. Now, the name Don Callis might not be recognizable to some, but he was the Jackal in WWE with the Truth Commission. And he was also the network, yep, the same people who put us back on the air, the network for ECW. And he, of course, a great announcer. He's the one kind of making everything happen. There's even talk of him bringing Chris Jericho to Impact Wrestling, as crazy as that sounds. But Impact is doing well. I mean, its women's division is the last time its women's division was at its peak is when you had Gail Kim, you had Awesome Kong, you had the Beautiful People, you had Daphne. Now you have Cherry Bomb, who's Allie, you have Chelsea Green, you have Sue Young, you have Rosemary, you have Tessa Blanchard, and then Gail Kim is working backstage. If Madison Rain making appearances, definitely watch the TNA women's division, especially because it started having a women's revolution years before WWE did. It had an all women's pay per view years before WWE did. But as you heard me talk about with All In, Bully Ray's back. You might remember me in a couple of my Independent Impulse segments last season talking about how Bully Ray was injured. Never thought he'd be back. I don't know if this is a work. I don't know if maybe him sitting out for a couple months made his concussions better. I haven't really seen him take a lot of offense. He's went through a couple tables. I'll admit that. But I don't know what they're doing with Bully Ray. I don't know if maybe they're going to make him Ring of Honor champion at one point. That'd be interesting. I'm usually not this confused, but with Bully, I have no idea. He's that good of a showman that I believed how injured he really was. Speaking of being fine, though, Bullet Club's fine, obviously. Again, last season, I wondered, are they splitting up? The only rift in it is Tama Tonga, Tamaloa, and Bad Luck Fail. The Samoan, the Gorillas of Destiny, and all that, wanting to split from the real Bullet Club. The one here in America. I guess I shouldn't say real. And it's funny because Cody will have back and forth, even though Bad Luck Fail and Tama Tonga were two of the originals. Now they're talking about trying to recruit people, anyone. I mean, they have Haku right now, who's one of the baddest men on the planet, but, they're trying to recruit anyone. They're asking fans, who do we get? Fans have said Neville, fans have said Joey Janela, Tessa Blanchard. It'll only be a matter of time to see if the Bullet Club gets back together, or if maybe the Bullet Club we saw All In will be recognized as Bullet Club America, and that'll be Bullet Club Japan, or Bullet Club de Japan. But for right now, the Samoans, along with Taji Ishimori, Bone Soldier, are recognized as people who have a hit list out on the Bullet Club. Now I mentioned I mentioned them splitting up. The NWO split up, but now the three are back together. Hall, Nash, and Hogan doing an NWO reunion. Vince is not happy. And I know I'm mentioning Vince McMahon and the NWO. Why am I doing this in Independent Impulse? Well, they're doing their own thing. They're doing a tour, the Too Sweet reunion tour. They might appear on the Jericho Cruise. They might have their own event. Who knows what they're going to do? But as of right now, Vince is not happy. He obviously had to give the okay because he owns the name. But he is not happy with Hogan going into business for himself when he obviously had plans for him beforehand. You heard me speak about AAA Mania. That it was one of the first times it was in English. That is, of course, AAA's big pay-per-view. AAA, the big Mexican promotion. For the common fans, if you watch Lucha Underground, El Hijo de Fantasma, who is known as King Cuerto in Lucha Underground, he was unmasked, so he now will be going unmasked forward, which is a big deal for Lucha stars to lose their mask, especially in Mexico, because that means it's gone for life. And he's not the only one to lose something this summer while we were off the air. Dalton Castle, if you remember, beat Marty Scurll and Cody Rhodes for the title in Ring of Honor. And I was confused. I didn't know where they were going with this. Then about 2-3 weeks later, Jay Lethal wins the title from him, and he's had it since. Why would you have Dalton Castle win the triple threat? Since then, Dalton Castle hasn't done anything too important. He was an announcer for one match at All In, but besides that, But for me, the biggest announcement I'm excited for, besides All In, is the NWA 70th anniversary show. Besides having the rematch of Nick Aldis and Cody, besides having a bunch of legends come back for a reunion, I'm assuming Horseman. I'm assuming Nikita Koloff. I'm assuming the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette. There will be decided a new NWA national champion. And the national championship was the secondary title for a long time because a lot of promotions had their own United States title, their own TV title, but it went NWA champion, NWA national champion. This, of course, a title Tully Blanchard held a lot. And in speaking of the NWA titles, Billy Corgan and other NWA owners have said that there's a chance that they bring back the NWA Tag Team Championship and the NWA Women's Championship. Now, for a brand that was supposed to be dead about a year and a half ago, to bring back all of these championships, it is showing that wrestling at this point is thriving. You could almost say that wrestling has an impulse throughout the industry.